My name is Patrick Penn, as Tracy said. Thank you so much for setting this up today, and I am so glad to see so many God-fearing, country-loving patriots out here. I love you. I love you. So bottom line up front, I did 20 years in the U.S. Army. I retired out of Fort Hood, Texas. Anybody know about Texas? That's my Stetson right there. My wife was born in Texas. My daughter was born in Texas. I retired from the Army out of Texas. I really love Texas. Can you feel it? Let me tell you one other thing. I really love our country. I took an oath to defend this country from both enemies, foreign and domestic. Do we have any vets in the hall out here today? All right, give them up. Give up a round of applause for all of our vets. Thank y'all. Sir.
How you doing?
Major. How you doing, sir? Oh, I did not see you standing there. My goodness, snake would have bit me. Bottom line up front, you got to know that what we are defending, our Constitution, our way of life, it is so important. It is so integral to us as the freest nation on the face of the planet. If we fail, if we fall, where else do people go? Who else supplies and supports those who are downtrodden, assaulted, oppressed, attacked? Everyone looks to America. And I bring that up for a specific point. I like to give the analogy before I retired to my troops. I'm a big analogy guy, Miss Tracy. And I said, look here, how many of y'all got a house? Show of hands. Everybody got a house, all right. How many of y'all have a door on that house? Raise your hand. All right. So follow me on this little analogy tour right here. Because I got Sleepy Joe Biden sitting in the White House, who on the first day decided to go ahead and get rid of all of our nation's policies, procedures, and tactics that were utilized to keep the enemy out, is the effect of taking that front door off the hinges of your house. And then, while you're down in the bathroom obsessing about the woke Olympics, about who's a man and who's a woman and who's a this and who's a that, instead of being one nation under God, united with liberty and justice for all, we're sitting here down inside the bathroom obsessing about, well, should we use periwinkle blue soap or rose pink soap? Meanwhile, the dog, the military that we have out there on the front, the Rottweiler, well, he's in the cone because they done snipped some stuff, if you catch my drift. So you don't have protecting you what you used to have protecting you. And now you got everybody. Now you're not opposed to immigration. You're not opposed to inviting people over to the house. You're not opposed to looking through the door and finding out, okay, you ring the doorbell, I want to let you in, yeah? They got that daggone security system at the White House, except for whoever brought cocaine in there. So all I'm saying is that if you're gonna have this same setup at your house, how dare you not have it on our nation? Now I got everybody coming in here, going through my refrigerator, putting their feet up on my white sofa, flicking through my TV, using my toothbrush. But I'm down here in the master bathroom, dug down in the house, worrying about periwinkle blue or rose petal pink. It's a shame. It's a travesty. And what you're not doing is upholding your oath of office to defend these people of these United States, black people, white people, Hispanic people, everybody who's here legally. You can't tell me that you can come in, violate my laws just by sheer force of you coming over the border, and then tell me that you're a law-abiding, freedom-loving, American Constitution-loving person. That math ain't mathing for me. So the bottom line up front is we need to go ahead and get somebody into that office. I think y'all know who I'm voting for. Who on day number 1 can go ahead and secure the homeland. Now, I did a research paper back in the day, and I said, look here, here's the biggest problem that we have. They asked us in this national security page, they said, look here, boy, what's going to happen? I want you to take the mindset of a terrorist. And I wrote this years ago. And I said, look here, here's the biggest thing that you can think about. The terrorist is not going to hit what we call in the Army and the rest of the military a hardened target, right? They're not going to go after the World Trade Center. They're not going to go after the Super Bowl. I said, what you're going to do is go after the center of gravity. The center of gravity for the U.S., in every citizen's mind, every citizen's heart, the center of gravity is, that stuff is on those shores. It doesn't come here. Now, since Joe Biden decided to pursue open borders, you've let all types of people that you don't know how many and who. I think the official number right now is 7 million with 2 million gotaways, and that, to me, doesn't even sound about right. I don't know how many of those. You say 300 of them are terrorists that were coming in with the coyotes across the border and infiltrating and dispersing all across the country. What I wrote in my research paper, I said, look here, how about you bring them in and you push them out all across the nation and you give them a certain signal, either a date or a certain event as the activation. And when that activation happens, those folk will start terrorist attacks all across the land. I'm not trying to scare you up. I want you to be vigilant. I want you to be smart. Because this is how the enemy thinks. The Bible tells us to be wise as serpent and gentle as doves, but bold as lions. Amen? Yeah. So when you're sitting here and you're looking at this stuff and you're thinking about it and you're like, okay, they ain't on the guard. They ain't on the wall. They ain't on the watch. Who is? And who is it that's coming through our threshold of our doorsteps with the doors taken off the hinges and the dog down the street with the cone of silence on? And what would these people do to disrupt our way of life and our center of gravity? God forbid that there ever be an attack on the homeland, because when they do it, if they were to do it, they would do it at Friday night lights at your kid's soccer game all across flyover country. Because that will send to your center of gravity, to your mindset, man, they can reach out and touch us anywhere and we can't stop them. And they ain't got to be right 100% of the time. They only have to be right once, right, Major?
That's right. They're going to do it.
So all I'm saying is we got to be smart, we got to be prepared, and we have responsibility. The people that you elect, the people that you kick the tires and lift the hoods, make sure that they agree with you, that they support you, that they promote your vision and values, because that's the only way that we're going to get this country back on track. I encourage each of you to go back and take a look at the Ingram angle from last night. Pretty profound, okay? If you haven't seen that already, go take a look at that right there. And if there's anything that I might be able to do for you, patrickpenn.com, let me know. Bless you. I got to get back in here and take some votes, though.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning.